Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reinventing Mental Health. Today, we have with us my two friends, Melissa and Peter Silvester from MedBedSpa here in Austin. They perform stem cell treatments, they provide superfood supplements, and they use a number of healing tools. So, thank you both for joining me today. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting us, Mary.
Thank you so much. So, tell us a little bit about what you guys do and how you ended up down this path.
So in 2020, we were looking for MedBed technology because I'm already a craniosacral therapist and a health coach. And so we wanted to expand and we heard about MedBed technology. And so that took us into the path of looking into frequency healing and frequency devices.
Mhm.
We distribute and we promote healing tools that we test ourselves and then we promote those. So we started with the Tesla Bio-Photon.
Well, Bio-Photonizer and Bio-Photonizer generators,
Okay.
they're larger ones. And you place them near your body, under your bed, and they radiate life force energy, which
Okay.
recharges all the cells in your body to optimal current, which allows for healing to take place in the body. And it's been really miraculous for a number of people that we've provided this to.
Okay, and that's what you're talking when you say MedBed. That's what you're talking about is that device.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
when we called the founder of the company, the scientist who actually developed it, he
Mhm.
told us that his technology, his tools are the MedBed engine. So we thought, wow, this is like the MedBed engine. And so though some people who have been studying this and been researching, they know that they've been told that med beds will instantaneously like heal everything in your body. He told us that this is not instant because it still is going to work over time and
Mhm.
intensity, but it's basically the technology, the engine to the med bed.
Okay. So, if you were to explain this to somebody who has no idea what any of this means, um, how would you explain that as far as like how it works and the modal what it's doing inside of your body?
Sure. Well, the way it's described to us by the scientists is when you go out into nature, nature has a life force energy of like 17,000, or a very healthy teenager, a very athletic teenager has about 17,000 life force energy units. Now, he has a device that actually measures this. Uh, we don't, but that's okay. And these tools, the small one radiates 500,000 life force energy units, and the larger one radiates 50 million life force energy units. So you can imagine with that excess energy, you are getting a charge in your body. And so, although people have looked at these things and like, I don't understand it, you don't plug it in, you just keep it near you. Nevertheless, uh, it has it has actually been effective. The first person we sold it to, she took it to bed and it healed her husband's snoring. It just went away completely, and it still hasn't come back. So we
Okay.
tested it again on Melissa's father, who's well into his 70s, and
Mhm.
it took three of the small ones. Nevertheless, his snoring went away.
Okay.
So it was amazing. And then another person, tell her about the seizures that went away.
Yeah, I have another client who suffered from seizures for years, so much that she has to have someone with her all the time. Well, as soon as she received it, when she is around it,
Mhm.
she no longer has seizures. So she keeps it with her and she travels with it. She's in the car with it. She's always around it because what it does, it's frequency and it's
Mhm.
Tesla, Nikola Tesla um, research. And so it has free energy, it has natural materials that provide free energy. And so it's radiating frequency, like Peter said, life force energy, and it
Okay.
communicates to your cells and it helps your cells self generate, regenerate, and self heal. So it's assisting your body. It's not going to be overnight, like we said, but it does work over time and intensity. And depending on what people are dealing with, if it's something like, if you're a healthy person, like we are healthy people, we only have one generator. Whereas what Peter just said, like my father, who has been a snorer all his life, he needs three of these to help him with his snoring. And it goes on to help other types of issues like pain, just pain that people might have. When I have like a cramp or something, I just put it around me, and it works up to 3 feet. So if you're within 3 feet, then it is working on you. If you buy there are bigger devices. The bigger the device, then it covers more area.
Okay, so you're saying that there's the one person who's traveling with them. So how big is this device?
Well, this one's pretty small, like in a hand.
They're like a can.
Small can. The larger ones are 28 pounds. And the suggestion is for serious illnesses, like the C word, things like that, you would put 4 of them under your bed. And that's so powerful with the constant charging of your cells in your body that your body has a more effective way at repairing itself, healing itself, so on.
Cool.
So then, from then, we kept on researching more and more modalities and superfoods. Of course, we were already providing Purium, which is a really high integrity brand of superfoods and supplements. And then we went on to learn about others. And eventually, stem cells came into play when we started hearing more about those and peptides and things like that. And we actually discovered Christian Dropo, who is a stem cell scientist, and developed a way to get the important plants from around the world in areas where people live the longest. And he's discovered that it may be helpful for the proliferation of stem cells. And sure enough, they did. And so each plant has a different role to play in drawing out your own stem cells from your bone marrow and allowing them to travel through your body to injured areas. And so from there, that's been very effective, by the way.
Yeah. So that's another product that we love and that we also promote. And that's because we've tried it. So Stem Regen allows for your body to release your own stem cells.
I love Stem Regen. I use that myself.
Right? Because we have stem cells, but after 30 years old, our stem cells don't automatically get released from Christian's work. And so by having Stem Regen, it triggers your bone marrow to release your own stem cells to wherever your body needs it. And from learning from Christian, from reading his book, from learning from him, we started to dive deep into stem cells. And once we had our company name MedBedSpa, people were already contacting us and asking us if we would provide stem cell therapy. And we always asked them, what is your source? And they could never really be straight about the source. And so we could not align with certain people, because to us, integrity means everything. We want to make sure that it's safe and it's something that we ourselves would do. And so that's how we started. People were calling us and we were learning about Stem Regen and learning about stem cells. And that's how we ended up actually aligning ourselves with, in our opinion, the best lab that there is. And so that's another thing that we also provide and we promote is stem cell therapy. And stem cell therapy in the US, it has so many people have different stories about what they know about stem cells, but it is legal in the U.S. to have this type of therapy as a wellness therapy. It's like going to get a vitamin shot. A vitamin shot is a wellness therapy. You're not going to cure anything from receiving a vitamin shot. So we're not saying that you will cure anything from stem cell therapy, but it could help you regenerate in areas that you might need help.
So
Yeah.
what makes your stem cells special? Because that was one of the things that I really loved when I met you guys and we were talking about your specific stem cells and where they're coming from. And then you guys went into great detail kind of explaining how yours are different.
Sure. In fact, I just got a call today from somebody pitching me to be a provider of his lab stem cells. And he went through his processes and saying how they were procured and filtered out and things. And it just didn't match the quality that we have whatsoever. So what our lab does is, soon as somebody is reports to be pregnant and they're upper middle class, we hear about that, and they've checked off the box saying they do not want their cord. Then we go in and we monitor the mom and saying, okay, make sure that you take these supplements and make sure you don't get vaxxed and all these things, making sure that she's a very healthy mom all the way through the pregnancy.
And it's from young women in Texas, from upper middle class, like Peter said, and that's just the starting point. They have to say that they are, like, basic minimum is like you're healthy, you know how to follow instructions in terms of staying healthy throughout your pregnancy, and that you are willing to donate your umbilical cord. So these are donated umbilical cords. And so then after, do you want to continue?
Sure. Then once the lab receives it after the healthy birth, then we quickly clamp that, take it to the lab, and do the testing. And after all that, only 1 out of 1,200 cords are accepted because we do so much testing to make sure these are very healthy cells, that there's no microplastics, there's no diseases of any kind, no viruses, of course, and no vaccines. And it's easy to tell under the microscope if somebody's gotten the bad vaccine. So that's a pretty simple test. So there's many, many tests way beyond what the FDA requires. And these are FDA approved and monitored labs, of course.
And it is simple, like Peter said, to identify if the stem cells, if the blood of the umbilical cord has been vaccinated by the latest vaccine trials. But it's not something that the government or the FDA requires. So it's something that we go beyond because we want to make sure that, like, the people who have not been vaccinated because of their choosing, that they're not going to be now exposed to that. They don't want that, right? And so we want to give people the option that if that was something that they felt strongly about, that they did not want that experimental vaccine in the first place, that they would not be exposed to that. And that was one of the major factors for us, because we ask those questions when we speak to other labs, such as the one that called Peter this morning. And so over 500,000 therapies have been performed in the last 10 years with this lab that we work with, and there have been no negative side effects from and so the lab continues to improve the way that they do things. For example, it was before in DMSO. It is now no longer used with DMSO. It's now a sugar base, because even though there was a small percentage of people who did have a allergic reaction, which all we said would be Benadryl would be able to, remedy that. But we no longer use DMSO because we want to make sure that people have the best. And so the lab continues to improve in other ways and have different options. We're not going to say what new option we're going to have, but very soon the lab will have a new option
for delivery.
For delivery.
Delivery to the patient. So yeah, it's proven to be the best lab in the country, if not the world, with all these filtration systems and testing that they've done. And there's no chemicals used in the lab. And the filtration is so gentle because we want to make sure we don't damage the cells. So it's what you get is a pure product of stem cells, not even any red color from any red blood cells at all. And the important thing is go back a little bit to describe why it's necessary to have stem cell therapy come from donated umbilical cords. Now, of course, in the old days, they were getting it from the patient's own fat or bone marrow, but that requires surgical procedure. And in some cases, there has been a negative reaction called host graft syndrome, where you actually create like a blood disease from rejection. And also, you're getting the person's own stem cells. Well, the person is whatever age they're at. So you're getting a reduced number of stem cells in the body, and they're aged, and they're already used to the condition that the body's in. So as opposed to getting donated umbilical cord stem cells, where you're getting the absolute birth of life. And we have the healthy baby, the healthy mom. So we have the spark of God, the spark of life going into these cells. And you're getting a large number of cells. Now let's also bring in the fact that some people provide exosomes, and they're fine. They do a good job, apparently. In fact, some people are getting great results from any variety of types of stem cell therapy. However, with donated umbilical cord stem cells, you're already getting the entire package. You're getting the stem cells. The stem cells
And the exosomes.
excrete exosomes in the thousands per cell. So you're getting millions and billions of exosomes from our therapy already.
And what is an exosome for those people who don't know?
Those are the byproducts of the cells. Now you go
Of the stem cells.
of the stem cells. Now there's therapies utilizing exosomes because they're like messengers going out and repairing things. Now, and that's fine, but then there's an end life to that. They don't keep reproducing, whereas stem cells keep doubling every 28 hours in the body for 3 months to 6 months and even longer, perhaps.
Yeah, and because stem cells are replicating every 28 hours, in our opinion, there's no need to expand or replicate the cells in a laboratory before having them injected in you. And that is why people go to other places out of the country to get stem cell therapy, is where they are getting expanded cells, which means they have already been duplicated or expanded in a laboratory. And then instead of getting 20 million stem cells, which is what we offer as one dose is 20 million stem cells, they might be getting 200 million stem cells.
But you don't know what generation or where you're getting. The cells tend to be larger, so they have a harder time flowing through the body, flowing through the blood-brain barrier. And also the viability. You're not getting, they've proven that you're maybe getting 50 to 60% live cells, whereas ours is well into the 90s living cells. And those living cells, again, are doubling every 28 hours. And again, with our cells being original, they easily flow through the blood-brain barrier. And the exosomes, of course, are much smaller than the actual cell, and they will easily break through the blood-brain barrier.
Now, in our circles, like the event where we ended up running into each other, there's a lot of conversations about stem cells, and we understand their health benefits and then also what they are inside of the body. For the viewer who's not really sure what is a stem cell and why is this so important, what would we say to them?
Stem cells are the repair system of the body. We are born with them, and that's how our bodies become who we are, because our stem cells, as they replicate, they can differentiate into the different cells that make up a heart, make up a brain, make up the blood vessels, make up the neurons. And so to get an infusion of many millions of stem cells, that whole repair system is rebooted into a more younger version of ourselves. Because as we get older, our stem cells get tired, depleted, they're not around anymore. When we're born, we have 1 in 10,000 cells are stem cells. At 80, only 1 in 2 million cells are stem cells. So there's far less as we age. So that kind of creates the aging effect because repair doesn't happen as quick. Mm-hmm. And micro ill repairs are hanging around, and that's what the aging process looks like. So to have an infusion, it brings back a quicker response to damage, and the recovery time is faster. And here's the amazing part: we've had people with scars, and they get the stem cell therapy, and they're expecting overall health benefits, and their scars disappear, and that's incredible. That's really wonderful to have such a visual and unexpected result. And we've taken people off the donor list for livers and kidneys. You know, people have been told a bill of goods about like, oh, you only get 2 kidneys. Well, no, you don't. All the cells in your body are regenerating. Now, they're regenerating at a much slower pace as we keep damaging them with toxins in the environment and through age and the lack of stem cells. But nevertheless, they are regenerating. So if you can regenerate faster with a lot more stem cells, you can have a new kidney without getting somebody else's kidney.
What are some of the health benefits besides, you know, helping people heal scars and heal even organs? What are some things you've seen as far as like mental health diagnoses or even allergies or anything like that you guys have run across?
So everybody, first I want to say that everybody has a different experience, right? So we don't use this as a way to treat or cure a specific illness or disease, because that's what is illegal. So we want to make sure that people understand that it could work in one way for Mary, it could work a different way for Peter. So it's just like everybody could have a different experience. But for myself, I'm a pretty healthy person, but I am a nervous person. I have high anxiety, which goes with running your own business. And the last few years have been very stressful, I think, for everybody. So high stress and anxiety and maybe mild depression. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm just going to get this therapy because I want to see what it could do for me. But I didn't have something obvious like an ache that I can say, oh, I don't have that ache anymore. Or people need a hip replacement, right? Or people need, like Peter said, like a kidney or liver, transplant. But I did have anxiety, which is in your brain. And within 48 hours, we got it on Saturday morning, the therapy. And by Monday morning, I didn't have that anxiety that I would wake up with, that nervousness that, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And that is when I noticed that my anxiety has subsided, because I noticed it wasn't there. But it wasn't debilitating for me where I was unable to accomplish things. I was just a little slower, but you just learn to live with anxiety or stress, and you don't even know that it's impacting your life until it's gone. And I no longer have that. And so that was, for me, what I noticed. And so I know that it goes to repair things in the brain, it goes to repair things in the heart,
neurons,
and it goes to repair your neurons. So it helps with blood circulation, it helps with blood vessels, And so now your body is having the blood flow, the oxygen that it needs, and it just starts repairing your brain in the ways that your brain needs it. Like whatever it is that your brain would need it.
Well, let me tell you about some serious cases that most people can really relate to as far as knowing what's going on in the world, especially in America. The autism rate has escalated from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 31, if not even more, right? Well, okay, so we are providing this to parents for their children. And one child recently, he went from nonverbal to banging his head and just being like somebody you could not even communicate with, to being verbal within a couple weeks, being calm, not banging his head, and actually requesting in a very polite, normal child manner his request. So it really does work for people with any kind of issues, whether it be physical or mental.
Okay. So what does your therapy look like? Because I know when you go out of the country, it's this IV bag. You have to go multiple days in a row. But you guys said that yours isn't like that.
No, it's not. And we just watched some videos about people going down south to another country, and it's this whole ordeal, this whole dog and pony show where like, oh, one day you get this treatment, this next day you get some localized treatment and more exosomes one day, and then every day you get a little bit more stem cell therapy.
And I want to say, like, those things all do help. They, like, going in the oxygen chamber, having red light therapy, those are things that they could help, but it's not essential for the therapy to actually work, because just by having the injection of high quality stem cell therapy will allow for the cells to regenerate on their own. All the other things are extra. It's like going to the spa and you go there for a massage, and while they're there, they say, what about a facial? And what about red light therapy and a facial? Or what about, do you want to go in the jacuzzi now? Or what about like all these other extra things that are nice to have, but not necessarily, like, after you get a massage, you might just feel much better already, right? And so our therapy is, it's a 5-minute injection in the arm. It's not localized where you need it. If you need it in the shoulder, we will not put it in the shoulder, because the stem cells will go to where they need to go anywhere. If you put it in the arm, they will go to your shoulder, they will go to your knee, they will go to your heart. Let them do what they know what to do, because these are master cells that know exactly what to do. They're so intelligent. They're the most intelligent cells in our body. And so they know exactly where to go. And it's basically a 5-minute procedure. It takes 15 minutes because it's cryopreserved, and we have to make sure that they're thawed out. And 5 minutes, when I got it done, it felt blissful. And I don't like shots. I don't like needles. I'm vax injury from my childhood, so I don't like to be around needles at all. I do get vitamin shots, and they usually hurt, like, ow, like that. This was not painful. I was laughing because it felt like such a great, I've never felt that before, like a blissful happiness. Like, I did pray over them, so I think that also helped in that blissful feeling, praying over them. But it was fast and happiness, joy. I knew they were working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have red light therapy. So if people are in Austin, we will provide red light therapy as well, but it's not essential. And we have affiliates and providers throughout the country, and every clinic and every provider might do it a little bit different. They might charge a little bit more for those extra things like red light therapy or oxygen chamber, but it's not necessary for someone to spend a whole week with us. It's just one day.
Okay.
And not even a day. It's just come in 20 minutes.
Okay.
And we could do concierge anywhere in the country. We could send a nurse out to anybody in the country.
Okay. And how much does it, for the viewers that are interested in reaching out to you, how much does this cost?
It's under 7,000.
Which is much more affordable than even going to, like, I've looked at the prices in Mexico and some other countries, and they start at 15,000. So
Right.
much more affordable.
Yeah. So imagine, and that's for one dose. So even at 2 or 3 doses, again, you're getting in the high 90s of viability. So with 2 doses, you're still below leaving the country. And that's really powerful. So at 40 million, going into 80 million on day 2, and so on, doubling every 28 hours with such a high viability and efficacy rate. Our efficacy rate is amazing. With 2 doses, it's 97%, meaning somebody reports a very, very positive outcome.
So 97% of our patients have very good results with 2.
Satisfied.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the viability is really important too, because there will be a die-off. That's natural. Some cells will not make it. And so the quality of our lab is what makes them so viable. And that's a proprietary way that they do it to have such high viability, because some clinics, they don't want to offer that to the patient. They don't want to tell you what the viability rate is. You don't even know to ask what the viability rate is. And the viability rate means how many of the cells that you are injecting will actually hold. How many of them will actually live in you? And that is important. And we've read up a lot about this. And some of the clinics say 30 to 60%. So you're spending your hard-earned money going to another country, paying for flights and hotels and taxis. And once you're there, they don't want to just give you 1 dose because you already made that trek. So they might as well have you in the clinic every single day. And so every day it's going to be a little bit more and more and more money. But what is the viability of them? It might be that they want you there that many days so that you have a higher viability than just with 1 dose, because maybe 1 dose, you might just get 30 or 40 or 50%.
It was reported that we had 2 customers that previously left the country, got services done somewhere else, and that's so outcome. And they came and had ours, and they enjoyed our 1 dose way over the services that they got from somewhere else.
Okay.
So that was really good to hear.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to contact you, how would they reach out to you guys?
Oh, MedBedSpaUSA.com. Our phone number is on our website, MedBedSpaUSA.com. And it's easy to find us anywhere on the internet and give us a call. And we've got a call from California, a guy that was interested. Now it looks like he's going to get the service done. So that's great. And we get calls randomly from people all around the world for various things, whether it be stem cell therapy or the Tesla Bio-Photonizers. And we have great conversations with people all over. They're excited to go on their alternative healing journey.
Very cool. All right. Is there anything that I haven't asked about that you want to share with viewers?
Well, that we really love and we're passionate about helping people, and that we really test everything that we do, and we would love to help more people, because the company mission and our mission is to help at least 1 million people recover and have newer cells and feel healthier in their body and their mind and their soul and their spirit. And we love helping people.
We take everything and use everything that we sell. From all the supplements and superfoods, we've tested them all. on ourselves, and then we vetted the companies to making sure they're not selling out to some hedge fund or big pharma, making sure that they're going to continue to stay in integrity with their products and be true to the healing process of everyone.
I love it. Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. Please stay with us for just a minute. And viewers, thank you for spending, the last 30 plus minutes with us and learning a little bit about MedBedSpa and what it is that they can do to help with your healing journey. Please like and share and subscribe so you know when our next video comes out.